but at the same time, like, they just, like, every bit of the pilot means something. Like, there's no extra fat, there's no... And, like, even with Lynch, like, a general audience would call a lot of his stuff fat, but, like, with him, it's different because he doesn't put fat in his movies, like, or his shows. Like, his fat is his style. You know what I mean? And, like, in that regard, like, the fat is necessary. Like, you have to experience the style with the out there stuff you're gonna get, because that is what makes it Twin Peaks.
So you're saying, like, the abstract stuff
because
is fat.
If you skip around, like, if you're just like, oh, fuck this weird abstract shit, and then you get back to, like, them talking about the plot, then it's just a crime show. It's just another crime show.
Yeah, you know, you miss so much. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You're cutting the fat, but in this specific case, like, the fat you have to have.
Gotcha. Like with a good steak, man. You
have to have the flavor. So, favorite character in Fire Walk with Me, go.
In Fire Walk with Me.
and I'll say the one caveat is it can't be from the show. It has to be someone that's not only in the movie, but someone that is, like, from the movie, and they could have, like, you know, gone further, or, like, if they were just in the movie, whatever.
I mean, I want to cop out and say, you know, I don't want to say Chet, so let me say.
Okay.
I don't want to say Chet.
That's me, bro. I'm a little basic bitch when it comes to that shit. I'm not even gonna front. Like,
I'm trying to think. Let me see. Just because, like, a lot of in the movie, a lot of me, like, loving the characters is just like, oh fuck, we get to see them again. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, you like, he got his dick hard for Albert.
Yeah, Albert, bro.
It was pretty hilarious, honestly. Jay was like, I wish I was as cool as Albert.
Dude, I wish I was Albert. Like, fuck that. I wish I was that man. Shit. I don't want to pick the FBI guys either, because it's like, shit, dude. I mean, I guess David Bowie, like, okay. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to pick someone that, like, starts in this, he's a great.
And he has such a small but profound, like.
Well, I mean, it's like we said I think we said this in part 1 as well. Like, you put David Bowie in something, like, he's not going to be some guy.
He won't disappoint.
No.
He's not.
No, and it's, like, so extraordinary because I don't even know if he had, like, theatrical, like, background to him. I know he had been in a lot of movies and stuff, but...
Okay. I mean, that still doesn't add up, you know what I mean?
He's such a good actor. I mean, and... It's just so weird because David Lynch uses a lot of singers in his stuff.
Oh, yeah, he does.
And it's weird, like, it's weird that he sets up this pattern of, like, every singer that plays an FBI agent in Twin Peaks has disappeared except for Tammy in The Return. She never disappeared.
Tammy.
The one that hangs out with Albert and Gordon.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And she's a singer, Krista Bell. She's a singer.
Oh, I didn't know she was a singer.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But like, she never disappears. She's fine by the end of the show. She never, like, gets
She's
killed.
fine by the end of the show, alright.
She's fine by the beginning to the end.
Jesus, bro.
From beginning to end. Krista Bell, please come on the Lane Flicks SeptemPeaks program next year.
Please.
Even your, like, PA, that's fine. Like, just have them come on. We'll say it's you. So. Call us, Krista Bell. I'm just trying to think of what else we should, like, say, because this movie is so... There's no way to put to words, like...
Yeah, like, even... I was going to say earlier, because you were saying, like, yeah, man, this movie's insane or whatever, but it's like, man, nothing's describing the full, you know, depth of Twin Peaks. Like, none of these words are
especially
working.
Not this movie.
Yeah. I know people that have seen the movie understand our, like...
It's an injustice.
Right now.
It's an injustice to try to put it into words, honestly, because it's such a complex... And, like, this sounds so pretentious or whatever, but it's such a complex and dramatic piece that it... Like, unless you have a thorough understanding of the show, I don't think as much of it will hit as hard.
It's like it's like you have, you know, 3 people trying to describe an elephant. They're blindfolded and they can only describe it by touching it.
Right.
You know, they're all going to feel different things.
That's a really good way to explain anything David Lynch.
Yes.
Yeah. Next beat was Laura telling Donna she was going to the Bang Bang Bar, or going out, and then she goes to the Bang Bang Bar, And Donna follows her there. And we see Laura meet with a couple of guys who we're to assume are Johns, which then are revealed to be Johns. Yeah. And then Donna basically implicates herself into the situation, and this is one of the scenes to me that stands out as far as like how much a better actress Moira Kelly is than
what is Donna? Yeah, what is the show Donna's name even?
Oh my god, I can remember the Donna that was in the movie more than. That's bad. I feel bad because like she dated Kyle MacLachlan for like the first year of Twin Peaks. Like, yeah, I kind of feel
Twin Peaks has such weird history, like as a show, and I don't know. Yeah, that's really strange.
Just the production of it, yeah. It does have some weird like trivia. Donna, like the little looks that she has here, and the little things that you get as an audience through her. To me, like she's just a better actress. Moira Kelly does that better. The Mike and Leland car scene. So I guess I just wanted to get more in depth with it. Like, so I talked about the noise thing in part 2 of week 1, and I talked about how like Leland, whenever in season 1, whenever he is by the record player after Laura dies, and he's snapping before the record player even starts playing, and then it's playing, and then like he has to have noise or something.
He's actually like relieved when it starts playing. Remember, he like takes a big breath. He's like,
it's like a weight off of him. Yeah,
he needs that noise.
Does that have to do with the fact that he was revving his car up in that scene? You think?
Oh wow, it's like a coping mechanism.
Is it that, or did he not want Laura to hear what the guy was saying? Or like there's so many things.
There's so many different.
And then like why did Mike think Laura was going to understand anything he was saying? Because like you remember he was like he stole the corn. It was above the store, and it's like what? Like understanding the clues to Twin Peaks, you can kind of decipher kind of what that means.
It's like did he know that Laura was significant in the whole like plot?
I think he did.
He had to have known.
I don't understand why he tried to communicate with her in those terms.
You know, like she would know already what's going on.
Yeah, like she had the code or whatever. And
maybe he was trying to scare Leland by doing that, like by giving her like raw truth,
planting the seeds. Maybe.
Because to them, like, you know, even though like they're speaking in code, we find out later it's like what they're saying is, you know, the grand scheme of things. But like first hearing it, it's like fucking just rambling, like, oh, the cord's on top of the store, and you were on top of the convenience. It's just like at first it seems like a crazy guy, but
yeah. So anyway, then we have the final scene of the scene that was illustrated in season 1. Whenever the bird had given its answers right before Leo shoots it in season 1, the minor bird, Waldo.
Ah, gotcha.
Remember, Cooper gets the recording like right before it gets shot, and it's like Leo, like no Leo,
no Leo, no.
hurting me, and so we basically get that scene like beat for beat, and it's pretty gut wrenching. It's pretty like
Not even
It's not even at a point to where it's like they were doing like kinky shit.
Yeah,
it was like
straight.
Like evil. Like,
and then not even like it's even worse because the scene after is even worse than. Oh god, it's even worse than the scene with the bird and everything. Cool.
It is literally one of the most horrifying things ever. Like that you could think of. Like I mean, obviously I can't imagine being a woman, but being a woman, a young woman. Your father, like going through all that, ultimately him discovering you in an orgy that you're getting paid for, that he rescues you from, only to then try and transfer his demon to you, and then because you prevent that, then murders you. Like all that happens in a scene. In one scene. So yeah, this movie is absolutely insane. It's hard, like even after having seen it a few times, it's hard to like try to like pick through, you know. So then here we have the end, and the end is in the Red Room. And Laura and Coop are there. They look good. They look happy.
Well,
Laura, I guess, is melancholy.
Yeah,
because she is smiling.
I think
she's crying.
It's as if she's dealing with like having gone through that and transition. It's like because she's definitely at peace, but she's definitely like very.
So you think she's at a transitional period?
Yes.
It's not good or bad necessarily.
I think she knows what happened to her though, or she knows something bad just happened.
So that's her soul, you think?
Yeah, I believe so. You never know.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. Yeah, that's why she and Coop are in the Red Room. Coop, I think, puts his hand on her shoulder or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like reassurance type thing.
Yeah.
Well, we think it's Coop. I don't know. I always.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. We don't know because what's her name did pop up in her bed.
Yeah.
What's her name popped up in Laura's bed, which is from after the end of season 2. Well, at the end of season 2. So yeah, time has no consistency.
Yeah, in Twin Peaks, and I think it's because of the different just dimensions. Though I think it makes. I'm glad it doesn't like all add up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would suck that like you just connect the dots.
Big time.
I mean that's so uninteresting. Like, but the thing about Twin Peaks is like it's exponential mystery because the answers to questions you think you know end up being questions themselves. You know, it's just like endless wonderment, which I love.
It's what keeps you trapped.
Yeah,
it's what keeps you trapped in Twin Peaks.
I love it.
I was saying, like, if you want to describe it to someone, show them the scene of the woodsman when he stops the guy in the car. And he's like in that lull. Yeah, got a light. Yeah, that is Twin Peaks. But you have to watch Twin Peaks to know. It's like...
Yeah, I mean, I honestly. The first time I watched Part 8, before I ever showed you Twin Peaks, okay, the first time I watched Part 8, which we're going to get more into this when we cover it, there's 2 episodes you have to do in The Return. You have to do Blue Rose, and you have to do Part 8.
Blue Rose.
I'm hoping you can do all The Return with me, because that would be awesome, but there's those 2 I have to have you back for. And I remember watching it the first time, and I had to fast forward through some of it. Because I was getting like so bored with it.
Oh, really?
Well, because this was back before I was like in love with Twin Peaks, I guess.
Okay.
It was my first go through, so, and plus like season 3 is out there.
Season 3 is like
The Return is
season 3 left like an imprint on my soul. Like,
oh yeah,
it really did.
It's so hard because there's so many good things in the first 2 seasons in the movie. But there's something about The Return. It's just like
I can't even describe it.
I think it's extra great because it's one of those things where they brought something back. It was like in that revival era, but it was good.
Yeah,
it wasn't shit. It wasn't like a revival just for the sake of reviving it. It was like, no, there's a story here, you know, and like this story is not over, and you can tell that they.
And it's still, by the way, not over. Even with the ending of season 3,
technically
it's still
not over.
Yeah, which is awesome. Like,
it is pretty cool.
We're gonna die like just satisfied with being in the mystery of Lynch. Like,
yeah, I can't imagine we'll ever get answers
unless we catch up with him in the afterlife. He's gonna be like, I'm directing a movie for God. Just give me a couple light years. Yeah. You know, those are like days here. I'm like, all right, man.
But yeah, so then we get. The arm talking through Mike,
and he connects.
And he
with
literally
him
is touching his left shoulder, as in like I'm your arm.
I'm your arm.
You pointed that out.
Like, but he controls Mike though, which is strange.
It is weird because like I don't think he always does.
But I think like how you were saying, Mike said he had to like I had to get it off. It was evil or whatever. That makes sense now because it's like. That was like all of his evil.
I guess that could have been Mike from before that happened. The spiritual Mike before he cut his arm off.
Because now
that was the arm that was making him evil.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't even like get all that when you said that.
It's
That's crazy.
And like when he connected with him, it was the old complete Mike again. He was like all evil.
It was evil Mike. It was like when Iron Giant's little bump pops out.
Yeah,
it was just like
bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's freaky.
Throw bite.
Throw bite.
Throw
We're doing
bite.
Iron Giant sometime. You got to do Iron Giant.
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely.
an absolute classic.
Iron Giant's like family.
That's the second family joke in SeptemPeaks this year.
I'm sorry, bro. The memes.
No, it's okay. I made the first one, so you had to get one. It's fine.
Oh god. I'm like, we're keeping it hip, guys.
Do you guys know what Fast and Furious is? The movies.
Oh,
but by the end, I think you kind of get this feeling that Laura's okay, at least.
Yeah, but
you
yeah,
get a sense
yeah,
of
you,
like she's in this peril, but there's some sense of closure. It's not spelled out. You know what I mean?
But remember how like the movie ending doesn't match up. Well, I guess it's because it's It's like an entirely different timeline when it gets to season 3 at the ending. Because now Laura's not even Laura anymore, right?
Well, yeah. At this point, well, that's the thing is, so like, this is a theory that we'll talk about more again when we get to the return. But
okay.
I read a theory that the Chalfonts. Remember they say they bought that house from the Chalfonts.
From the Chalfonts.
The lady that's there.
And the kid,
and she keeps looking behind the door.
Yeah.
Remember she keeps looking behind the door, but there's like some like muffled voice, but you don't hear who it is.
Okay.
From what I understand, that is the Palmer house. And Laura Palmer had been like returned to Earth for some reason. I don't remember why.
Right.
And so that's who that woman was. But a Mulholland Drive type thing happened, and she forgot that she was Laura Palmer.
Oh wow.
So Coop was actually trying to like. He thought if I can get her back to her house, she'll remember who she is, and then Laura Palmer will be back. But then when she got there, it's kind of like the bad guys won in a way.
I know.
Because the Chalfont. So like think about this. You remember in season 1 when Sarah Palmer's downstairs and she's like, "Is anyone upstairs?" And Truman is like, "Yeah, some of my men are upstairs."
Yeah.
But then later she like talks about people being in the house
Yes.
and like there's not people.
Yeah.
And like when Hawk takes her home, when Hawk takes Sarah Palmer home that one episode, and she's like looking behind the door, and he's just like, "Who are you talking to?" That is the same person that's talking to the lady at the end of the episode.
Oh no way.
So that like confirms that it's the Palmer house.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is creepy.
So like this. So I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it's not confirmed. But in this theory,
what is?
I just thought that was interesting. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, it's a cool, like, explanation as to why Coop thought this plan would work, you know? So yeah, so then the final shot is Laura and then this angel, like, coming intertwined, which is a payoff for earlier when the angel disappeared, like she prophesied. And then the very last bit is night vision footage of a monkey who we believe is the same monkey from What Did Jack Do, the David Lynch film.
We know this.
I'm pretty sure it's the same one. I think I looked it up.
It looks just like that, man.
And then he says Judy.
Judy, yeah.
And then I think it goes to credits, right?
Because yeah, it goes from the arm eating Garmin Bogia to the.
So what? Only I think. There was some mention of Judy in season 2, so that was before the movie. But the only mention of Judy in the movie is David Bowie saying the whole, "We're not going to talk about Judy."
We're not going to talk about Judy.
So yeah, what?
I just got to say, like, for a scene, like we always talk about how intriguing Twin Peaks is, but like if you see that scene and don't want to watch Twin Peaks after, you don't have taste.
You don't deserve.
You have COVID.
You don't deserve. You don't
deserve. Yeah, at all.
I can't lie, man. Like if that second episode doesn't hook you, like if that dream sequence doesn't hook you, you might just
like if the giant doesn't hook you, like the giant, like you don't want to watch this show.
Hello,
get out of here.
Hooper.
Hello,
like what?
Hooper.
Like how do you not? I don't know. I could see people like having a stigma about it, but give it a chance because I think more people than not would enjoy the show. I think.
Yeah. I think so. I think there's something in it for everybody.
So any last thoughts? Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Favorite part
of the entire movie?
Yeah, the whole movie. Yeah.
Ooh.
Not including the missing pieces. We might. We if we do this again next year, we might include the missing pieces, so we could save that.
Favorite part
in the movie, because you got to think all the Chet Desmond stuff, all the Laura Palmer stuff.
See, yeah, like towards the beginning, I was leaning on the Chet Desmond, but now that we got into that real Twin Peaks, it's like, oof. I think the like when Laura realizes that what Leland is Bob or Bob is Leland, I don't know how that. Well, yeah, that Bob is Leland.
Yeah, I think Bob is in Leland.
Is in Leland. Yeah, that's
when she's under the bush and stuff.
When he's like raping her.
Oh, in the bed.
Yeah, in the
bed.
Yeah.
That's
like crazy. Because even though we knew, like, for her to find out, it's like whole.
Oh, of course, and the way they edit it is
genius
because of the lightning, and then like it'll change from Ray Wise to.
It's like you really Frank feel Silva. Like just that like what the fuck like oh man.
You kind of put in her shoes,
big time.
And, like I don't know the way they shoot it. Like I said, like it's like you're in the bed. Like I don't know, it's crazy.
You're literally like there. Like,
no, you're there.
It's insane.
I can't lie, man. Like, I love the Chet Desmond stuff. It's some of my favorite like movie detective stuff ever. But I think my favorite scene, possibly in all of Twin Peaks, is the murder scene. Is the murder sequence. Like, it is operatic,
dude.
It is like. It's performance art.
You literally almost like if you have like a week like you don't like seeing people get killed, you probably won't be able to stomach that scene.
And it's not even like it's that gory. It's the emotion and the theatrics of it. You know, like the way it's played out, and the music and the lighting and the framing, and it's like, just
one thing I have to say about Twin Peaks. Is often when I'm watching Twin Peaks, I forget it's a show. Like I forget it. Like it's so real in some points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's man. Like I don't know. It's not like I mean it's goofy at parts.
At parts.
Because that's like how I was at my grandparents a few weeks ago, and I just like mentioned it to them because they were like, "Yeah, we've been like running out of shows to watch," so I just mentioned it to them. And they were like, "Oh yeah, that's that weird show."
Yeah, bro. Did I tell you my granny said the same thing? She's like, "Yeah, that's that weird show. It's like Twilight Zone or something." I'm like, no one's really. It's cool. No one really like checked it out. No one really tuned into it. You know?
It's interesting because it is a cult show, but
everyone like our grandparents think it's like they're like, "Oh, it's that," and like they've seen like Star Trek and like Twilight Zone. They love these shows, and they see Twin Peaks and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's that weird show."
I feel like if you like, because I loved Star Trek since I was like 10.
Yeah.
You know? Like
I just mean as far as weird stuff happening in the show, like dude, Star Trek is they have some crazy stuff that happens in those episodes, and for them to like be growing up on that and then be like, oh yeah, Twin Peaks, that's that weird show. It's like I mean, it's pretty much like
you had green people.
You had a yes,
I mean, I don't know. The Return, it gets wackier than the rest of the show.
No, but this is from back in the day with Twin Peaks. Yeah.
This
is like
that's
season
true. That's
1
true.
and 2 or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So it's.
But yeah, I think
it just makes me wonder how was it marketed back in the day? Like, you know what I mean? Like how was that?
I know the biggest marketing they did was a series of Japanese coffee commercials. So like I don't know.
That is so. Why is that so Twin? Like why is Twin Peaks just like a niche? Like Twin Peaks,
everything about it is like I think that's why. I think they didn't want it to turn into, and it almost did in season 2 when Lynch and Frost left. Yeah. It almost turned into just like another shit show. I mean, like the part I always tell you about with James, and it just became like a soap opera. And
maybe that's what our grandparents saw. They saw kind of the beginning of season 2, and then they're like, all right.
Yeah, because I know season 1 had kind of a rough start.
Oh, really?
So I want to say, most people didn't even know about it till season 2.
Well, and thinking about it too, because there were some good shows on back in the day. Like it had to be competing with a lot of stuff, and like
I think Walker Texas Ranger was on.
Oh,
that was like everybody watched that.
Oh man!
I know Star Trek was on.
Star Trek, yeah.
Star Trek. That was Star Trek Next Generation too. That was like everyone watched.
Everyone
Star
watched
Trek.
it.
That was back when Star Trek was like mainstream. It wasn't just like weird
Yeah.
sci-fi nerd shit. It was like families would go home and watch Star
watch
Trek.
literally,
Like, yeah.
literally.
But yeah, I mean, I would have to say that that scene is my favorite of the movie because it's just so like
Both scenes where it's showing like, you know, both of our favorite scenes are just showing that like dualism with Bob and Leland. And I don't know why that like. Yeah, shout out to Ray Wise again, man. Like,
shout out to Ray
Jesus
Wise.
Christ.
Shout out to Frost and Lynch for understanding like the power of human duality and understanding that like even though they told this story through the lens of like fantasy, it's like more real than some like true to life crime shit. You know what I mean? Like because it captures the emotion as well as the crimes and as well as the evidence and all that. It somehow captures these things the characters feel and like puts them into visuals. You know, it's insane. So overall, Fire Walk With Me is awesome, but like I said, please watch like the series first because I don't want anyone to like have the movie or anything from Twin Peaks ruined.
Yeah, at least have some clues to hold on to.
It's one of those things where I would watch it in the released order.
Yes.
Like just watch season 1, 2, Fire Walk With Me, and then The Return. And then if you want to delve into the books, those aren't necessary, but there's a lot of like extra like bonus info, bonus.
I forgot you
stories
said
and
there were
stuff.
books.
There's
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 books. Yeah.
So you were saying that Fire Walk With Me is a prequel, technically?
Technically, because it takes place before Laura dies, it's a prequel.
So could you watch it like Fire Walk With Me season 1, 2, and 3, or that would not work, right?
You could, but I think there's so many things that are in context, that are so in context because of the show, because of what we know from the show, that it would just take away from that. Like, you wouldn't feel the gravity of, like, when Laura sees her dad.
Gotcha.
You wouldn't feel that, because you're like, what? Like, what the fuck's wrong with her dad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I think it's, like, it definitely contextualizes the movie. It contextualizes a lot of the show. It brings a lot of stuff, like, full circle, so... But yeah, we really appreciate you guys listening. Tommy, you got any last statements?
I think I'm all
Good to go.
right out, yeah, for sure.
Alright, man, I appreciate you coming and watching the movie and talking to me, man.
No problem, dude. Anytime.
Appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back next week, or actually later this week for the first part of The Return. And that'll close out week 3, and then next week we'll be on to finish out The Return. And that'll be SeptemPeaks.
SeptemPeaks.
So we'll see you guys next week. Tommy will be back for definitely at least part 4 and part 8.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys.